I think that's working. That is working. Got my little beeper thing on, right? So hey, I'm Dave, here to talk about, oh geez. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I'll lift it anyway. I guess still have the cast on, still have the broken foot. And I'm kind of treacherously, on some rocks here. Yeah, it's much better. Standing in an awkward position, but it's good. So I'm Dave, here to talk about the new box set for 2022. This is exciting. Sometimes we announce them as early as April, May, sometimes as late as, I don't know, what are we now, mid-July. This is, I think, the perfect time. I think it's coming out in the fall. Anyhow, if you're watching this, you probably already know that the box set is going to be 6 complete shows from, oh, drum roll, I love it, from Madison Square Garden. A place the Dead played over 50 times, played exceptionally well virtually every time they played there. And we've got 6 shows from 1981, 82, and 83, 3 consecutive years at the Garden. All 6 of the shows, I think, are magnificent, really, really great shows. So get over to dead.net, check it out. But I'm going to go through a little bit of, the whys and the what is very cool about this. So over the years of the box set, these 6 shows, 3 of them in particular, one from each of the years, we'll get into that in a second, one from each of the years has come very close to being released as either a Dick's Picks, going back that far, a Road Trips, or a Dave's Picks. And specifically, the first night of the 1981 shows, March 9th, has come very close a few times. The first night of the 1982 shows has come close a couple of times. That is the 9/20/82 show, Shakedown Street, etc. And then the second show in 1983 has also come really close a few times, which is interesting. A lot of people have kind of asked for the St. Stephen show, which is a great show, but the next night, which is the little under the radar show, is probably the one you're going to want to check out even more. You probably already know the St. Stephen show, 10/11/83, but the one from the next night with the Helps of Franklin's, and from the opening Cold Rain and Snow, and we've talked about this, I love Cold Rain and Snow as an opener. I love it anytime in a set, but this one, it opens up and it's like, we mean business. And there's so much good stuff. So the Dead, it took them 15 years or 14 years into their performing career to play at the Garden, which is interesting. A lot of bands play there early on. And the Dead, they played, Felt Forum, which is, I don't want to say the basement, the ground floor of Madison Square. Remember, Madison Square Garden, the ice level, or court level if you're a basketball fan, is several floors up above ground level. Ground level is the Felt Forum, where the Dead played in 1971, 4 incredible shows in December. Then throughout the 1970s, after the Fillmore East closed, the Dead had the Felt Forum run, and then in 72 they played the week-long run at the Academy of Music, of course, right before they went to Europe. And then 73, Nassau Coliseum, they went off to Long Island. They played Jersey City, the Stanley Theater in the fall. So they were kind of playing the New York area, but not. 74, Roosevelt Stadium, nothing else in New York City, no Nassau, nothing like that. And then in 76, they finally returned to Manhattan to a couple of shows at the Beacon Theater, a week of shows, or 5 shows in 1977 at the Palladium, which was previously known as the Academy of Music, same venue. And then in 1979, finally, the Grateful Dead, they were supposed to play at the end of 78, but as you know, Jerry had sore throat, or beyond that, I think was very, very sick actually. And they canceled the end of the November-December 78 tour, and they started out 1979, still Keith and Donna in the band, with a tour of the East Coast, including, finally, the Dead's first couple of shows at Madison Square Garden. They would return to the Garden in September of 79 for 3 shows with Brent, and then in 1981 they started playing the 3 years in a row, and then they took 4 years off and returned in 87 for the run of shows, the 5-night run with the big 9/18/87. So a lot of shows to do. We can keep going right till 1994 if you want. But so the Dead played there over 50 times, and as Jerry very, very famously said once, the venue is juiced. It's got its own energy. It's got New York City energy, Deadheads, rabid New York City, East Coast Deadheads, and the Dead, you're playing New York City. You're going to play your best. You want to, you're in the best, you want to play the best. And they always seem to play really, really great shows and really high energy shows. So in 1981, they show up on this, well, I won't say the spring tour, the winter tour of 1981. Remember, they did two kind of early in the year East Coast tours in 81. They did the one that started in Chicago at the end of February, ran through March 14th of 81. And that was at Hartford, the Great Hartford Show on March 14th. And then they went to Europe right after that to 4 nights in London, and then the Gruga Hall show with The Who, the Rock Palace. And then they did another tour at the end of April through mid-May of the East Coast as well. So they kind of hit the East Coast a couple times. 1982, the 2 shows in here, kind of right towards the end of the fall tour of 1982. They kind of started out the end of summer with a couple of shows on the West Coast in Veneta, actually, the 2882 show, and then Seattle, and then they hit the East Coast with shows in Florida, and then moved up the coast and played right through Syracuse. 924, I guess. Great tour. I've always really loved this tour, and it's just a matter of no reason really, but no shows have come out from this tour, so we're finally able to get 2 of these shows out, and they're both magnificent. From 82, one opens with Shakedown, one opens with Playing in the Band into Crazy Fingers, the first set opener. And then also the Scarlet Fires, and there's some really good music now. Also, there was a lot of debuts in this era. Keep Your Day Job, which I happen to love, West LA Fadeaway, Throwing Stones, Touch of Grey, and then in the spring of 83 they added My Brother Esau and Hell in a Bucket, and they brought Help on the Way back into the repertoire. So all of that newer 83 stuff ended up in the big trucks going by, I don't know if you'll hear that. And then they added all that, you'll hear that in the October shows of 83. So over the course of these 2.5 years, some really magnificent shows, and I think each of the 2 shows from each year very much exemplifies that year's playing. The 81 shows are very much still the beginning of the Brent era. He'd been in the band 2 years at this point, but it's still the Go to Heaven early Brent stuff, and by 82 the newer In the Dark material, which we're still 5 years out from In the Dark, it started appearing in the repertoire. And then 83, we're really getting into the mid-80s Grateful Dead sound, which is, Jerry sounds a little different, Brent's keyboard sounds are a little different, and then all of the new material is now, by this point, by the fall of 83, was fully in the repertoire. So there's a lot going on, and the nice thing about this box is 81 through 83, I find the first sets to be remarkably great. 72, 78, some of the first sets are a little mellower than the second sets, and they kind of almost feel like a warm-up act, whereas by, I think really once Brent joined the band, the 81 to 83 are the first sets from the moment they hit the stage are high energy. Now the show openers at these shows, Feel Like a Stranger, Half Step Franklin's, Shakedown Street in 82, Playing in the Band Crazy Fingers, Wang Dang Doodle, Cold Rain and Snow. Those are the 6 show openers. From each of these, they really mean business. And pretty much anything from the early 80s that you'd want to see or hear the Grateful Dead play are played at these 6 shows and played extremely well. And that, I mean, literally everything. There's Lazy Lightning Supplication, Scarlet Fire, China Riders, Playing in the Band, High Time, Dupree's Diamond Blues, which had just come back into the repertoire. Crazy Fingers, as I mentioned, had just come back in the repertoire in July of 82. A couple amazing covers, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and The Beatles' Revolution, in which Phil chimed in on vocals. He came over to Bob's mic, I guess, and shared vocals on as my friend's set list, and we'll probably put that online, my friend Larry Price. He wrote the set list down, and he put a little notation with Phil on the Shooby Doo-Wops on Revolution. So it was pretty big news in the Dead world. And don't forget that at Madison Square Garden on October 11th, 83, the Dead brought back St. Stephen for the first time in 4 years. They only played it 3 times. They played it on October 11th, October 15th at the Hartford Civic Center, the night after that Great Dick's Picks, and then they played it one more time on the West Coast, Halloween at Marin Civic in San Rafael, and they dropped it forever, never to appear on stage with the Grateful Dead again, which is too bad, but this one you can feel the energy. And when they sing In and Out of the Garden, he goes, you can feel the energy through the soundboard recording that this crowd was extremely excited about this. In and Out of the Garden, I'm having a tough time balancing on these rocks, partly because of my cast, but just making sure that we're still recording, and we seem to be, I guess. I guess we'll find out, right? Are we still recording? Yes. Sorry. I was watching the counter go up. So we got the St. Stephen, which again is, I think it's magnificent. I remember getting this tape years and years and years ago. Other songs that come to mind, a lot of them, Great Ramble on Rose, Just Like New York City, Sailor Saint, Truckin', I mean, on and on. These are really good shows. I really love them. And then, as you know, whenever we do a box set, we always do a bust out show, and which is either going to be a compilation of a bunch of the shows in the box, or it can be one complete show. In this case, it's a complete show. It's the first night in the box, March 9th, 1981. So you can check that out at dead.net. I think there's also a download option for the box set. So again, all at dead.net. Check it out. Package design by Dave Van Patten. I've never seen art like this. And again, every time we do a box set, we try to make sure it's vastly different, not only from the last box, but from anything we've ever done or that's ever been done in music history. And I know that sounds bold, but it's kind of our focus on how we do things. This one is most certainly unlike anything we've ever done that I've ever seen. It's got a very much New York City inhabited by, in the early 80s, inhabited by deadheads and freaks and aliens and monsters. It's the most uplifting, day glow, incredible piece of art, and the way it spreads out and wraps. I'm going to say it's a work of art, but I mean, come on. It is a work of art. So really remarkable. And then I also want to draw attention to the liner notes. Our good friend David Frick. You might have known the name David Frick. He's worked with us a few times, but he was also with Rolling Stone magazine for the longest time. If you're a Wilco fan, he's interviewed in the Wilco documentary, I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. So David Frick has been around music forever, and he's lived in New York for 40 some years, including during this era. And so he has a perspective on the New York City music scene and Madison Square Garden and the Dead's place in it at this time. So a really remarkable piece of writing by David Frick. David, thank you for working with us. I mean, we're honored. And it's always really a pleasure. You're incredibly passionate about music and the Grateful Dead and writing and everything you do. So thank you. Really, really wonderful notes so we got David Frick and Dave Van Patten. So we've got some incredible art notes, lots of archival documents. So a lot of really cool stuff happening in this box. Everything is from the cassette masters. They sound great. Madison Square Garden sounds really good. I used to think, I only saw the Dead there twice, but I thought they sounded really good there. I saw them in '87. But tapes tend to sound really good from the Garden, and these ones sound, I think, terrific. 81, 82, and 83 all sound really good, quite consistent, slight differences, but that's just in recording, I guess. But overall, they all sound really good. Everything is very prominent where it should be in the mix. Really great. Everything went through plangent processes. Everything was mastered by Jeffrey Norman. So the sound quality is just A+ throughout. I love it. I mean, as a taper, we used to put little notations of, B+, A- on our tapes. I'd give these a solid A+, and I mean it. These are from the master cassettes. So they sound really great. What else can I tell you about this? We're probably going to do some more videos. You've probably heard shows from Madison Square Garden. These ones in particular, I think, are some of the best. Again, one show of each of these years has always been high in my notes for any of these years as possible releases. And the reason we held off on them was my hope of someday doing something bigger with Madison Square Garden, whether it was the two shows from '81 as a little mini 6 CD box or something like that. And when 2022 rolled around, well, we started working on this a year ago, when it rolled around, I started thinking, well, you know what, we just did a St. Louis thing from '71, similar thing, 3 years, '71 to '73 in St. Louis. Let's do a city thing based on Madison Square Garden, which is exactly what we've done, where we've taken 3 years of incredible Madison Square Garden shows, put them all together, and turned it into a wonderful box. So again, 3 of these shows, one from each year in particular, has come very close. The other ones are also terrific. outstanding shows, but 3 in particular have come very close to being released on their own. Very glad we waited so we can put it all in a box. So head over to dead.net. It's available now, I think. Oh, I must be if you're watching this video. I've got to get going because my foot is, I mean, I shouldn't be standing too long on it. Next time I do one of these videos, I will hopefully not have a cast on my foot. I broke it. So fingers crossed, because I don't want to wear it anymore, but I have to. So thanks for watching. Dead.net, check it out. Madison Square Garden, 1981, 82, 83. 6 shows, 2 from 81, 2 from 82, 2 from 83. And they're really incredible shows. I love them all. We're gonna put a lot of samples up so you can like test it out before you buy it. But hopefully you dig it as much as we do, because we're really excited about this one. Great era. We've never done anything quite this big from this era. We've done some Dave's Picks and things from the early 80s, but never a box set of this level. And so it's an exciting one for us. We feel it kind of touches all the bases, or I guess you'd call it that, hits all the spots. Some really wonderful stuff. So thank you for watching. I'm going to get off this foot now, and I will be here with another video sometime soon. And if you have any questions, shoot them my way, probably on the Twitter or email or something like that. Thanks again, and we will see you next time. Oh, I got the button. I'm going to do that thing with the thing. Thanks again.